Good day, Greg. How are you? Good day, sir. Well, my other day I was fishing and I got broke off a few times, so I got to retie some of these baits. It's a very difficult process tying up. You know what I'm saying, bro, or not? You know where I'm going with this? Roll call, what's up? Who's here? Who's checking in? Check in with your people. What up, AY? I don't notice AY. He must be new. New dude. New guy in the room. What's up, Raven? We talking ESP? You got some extraterrestrial stuff going on? You got telepathy? Yeah, man. I just understand. I have a different view on things, but I think that routine. I really enjoy routine, and I appreciate you saying that, man. Because sometimes you start to think you're crazy because because other people are so lazy. They only do what they have to do, or they only do what they have to do to get a paycheck, or things like that, and then they gain 10 pounds a year for the next 10 years and then die of a heart attack or something. Like, I've learned over time to just keep a routine. Routine is, to me, very important. So today, I get up every day. I'm up every day at 5 in the morning. I go to work every single day. And then I finish out my day with something else. And I try to do different things every day, but it usually plays out for me. Right, schedule, structure. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Raven. I'm glad you made it. One more year. One more revolution around the sun. Yeah, and all this stuff I talk about, it's not like I don't feel like I know everything. It's just I'm getting older and I've learned a lot over time, and I kind of know what helps me and what doesn't help me. Where earlier in my life I didn't know those things. So if I could pass some of those things on, I think it's positive to pass some of the things on that you've learned over a long period of time. Nice. Raven turned 21. I had a big blowout birthday party when I was 21. We did everything in this town had to offer. Everything. It was wild. Having trouble tying this knot. I can't say that I like David Goggins. I listen to a lot of motivational speakers. If I could recommend anybody right now, I would tell you Ed Milet is probably one of the best. In my opinion, Ed Milet is genuine, and he's got some really hardcore stuff. I do like David Goggins. He's just like not my go-to guy. But I do like him. I think that most motivational speakers they talk to certain personalities of people. So I do like David Goggins, but I think right now highest on my list is probably Ed Milet. Yep, just pretty much like that. EDMYLETT, I think. Just search that, and I'm sure you can find him. Ed Milet, he comes off pretty aggressive. When I first started listening to him, I wasn't sure if I was going to like him or not. But he comes off pretty aggressive. But he has some really good content. I really like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is one of the best. Les Brown is really good. I really like Les Brown because he's fairly simple, but he's a guy who made it from nothing. And I listen to a lot of success stories, like the guy who started McDonald's, the guy who started KFC, the guy, Jeff Bezos, who started Amazon. I listen to a lot of these success stories, and it just kind of helps me, understand certain things. Right now, I'm retying these baits because I broke them off fishing the other day. But that's what I'm doing right now. I already got up and worked. Here's another thing, Ether. Like, I was up at, let me see. I had to get up at 4:15 this morning. So I'm up at 4:15 a.m. I'm at work by 5:30, and I'm putting a couple hours work, 4 hours of work. I'm back home. I'm going to chill out for a while and then probably finish on my day out with some other stuff, But I think it's important to get up and get active in the day. A lot of people get up, first thing they do is want to pick up a video game or something, sit down on the couch, eat a bowl of cereal. It's like, gotta get active. Yeah, I really soaked myself in a lot of like motivational speaking and just different ways of thinking for success that will open your mind and open you up to, how can I say it, like just the way you think about things and how to become successful, how to find your niche, things like that. But once again, I'm not anybody special. I just listen to other people. I try to learn as much as I can and apply it in the best ways that I can. And by the way, I'm trying to figure out, I bought these little baits, I bought some other baits and I got these hooks for free. I don't know if you can even see these. They have like a little light wire. They're a hook with like these light wires in the front to kind of block the hook from getting caught. And I'll tell you what, they've been really working, man. They're like tiny little bugs, like they're tiny little bug baits. I'm telling you, these things are killer. I do not use any worm. I mean, I use maybe soft plastic worms every now and then. I use soft plastics, could be small fish, soft plastic, worms, soft plastic, bugs, soft plastic, crawfish, soft plastic. They're all soft plastics, most of them. The idea of fishing, like I don't do anything traditional. What people consider fishing, I don't do any of that. I mean, I think it's weird for most people, but it's fishing, bro. I'll tell you what was really weird for me. I'm really into fishing and hunting. So I've had to skin a few animals and stuff like that. The first time I skinned a warm deer freaked me out, bro. Totally freaked me out. Because you hang that thing up and then you make like a couple really good cuts and then that skin just peels right off the body. It's a weird feeling. Well, my chat room dropped off real quick. It must be boring. Yeah, I think that you're right. The human body is pretty fragile, but it's really weird. I think the human body is an amazing thing. It's fragile, yet still hard as a rock. Especially if you can mentally push yourself. I don't have a lot planned. I just came home and this is all this stuff. Like when I'm doing this stuff and I'm talking to you guys, most of this stuff is, I'm just sitting around doing it by myself anyway. So I think it's kind of cool that people can join me and maybe watch some of the things that I do. But like when I go fishing, I'm gonna go fishing anyway, if I do the live or not. If I'm out on my bike, I'm gonna go on my bike anyway. If I work out, I'm gonna work out anyway. I mean, so I'm just letting people join me on that little adventure. But I just Just kind of refreshing some baits here. I may go throw a few lines today still, but clean up my boat. I don't know. I don't have a lot going on. I've been debating whether I should try to do this Cash App thing. What are the major money exchange, like the electronic money exchanges? There's Cash App, there's Zelle, and what's the other one? I keep forgetting the other one. Honestly, I think Dana White has done a great job with the UFC. I think the downfall to the UFC is, oh yeah, PayPal. I think the downfall with the UFC is kind of like going mainstream, and I feel as if they quit caring about the fighters and the fights as much as they care about the characters and how much money the characters will make them. So if you got a mohawk, a bunch of tattoos, and you talk funny, they'll plaster you all over the wall, and that makes them money. And I mean, I'm not against them making money. I just feel that there are so many dedicated MMA guys out there that will probably never be as successful as some of these dummies because they don't do drugs. They don't lead a messed up life. They don't get a bunch of stupid tattoos. They don't wear a mohawk or, things like that. It's the UFC's become more about characters, kind of like WWE. And it's not wrestling, But no, I don't have any issues with the UFC. I think that when I was there, they did a great job. They supported and helped me more than I could ever imagine. It was a great organization to be with. All your money is guaranteed. Back then we could get our own sponsors. It was awesome. It was awesome. So, yeah, I can't really say they're doing anything wrong. I feel that I wish they weren't so mainstream. Like, a lot of these guys are just puppets. They're just puppets. They don't have any like the classic fights and fighters anymore, I don't think. But that's just, again, my opinion. I think I'll put this jig on. Yeah. So you get these guys, they're just weird characters. And the UFC's like, oh, I think this guy can make us a lot of money because he's really weird and he does stupid stuff. But the guy can't fight. He can't win a fight if he had to. Then they end up cheating. They end up doing steroids or drugs or whatever they're doing. And then they get popped for that. And then it's just all drama. It's becoming a just a daytime drama show, There is some politics that play into it. I have to admit, I'll tell you this though. I like that O'Malley kid. I really liked him. He showcases some really good skills and talent. And I think the thing is, a lot of people can't appreciate him because to the crowd, he would appear to be one-dimensional, but he's not. You got to understand, like, I really do like Sean O'Malley. But you're right in a way. He is a look. He is a character. He's kind of one of those video game character types. But I got to admit, I do like Sean O'Malley. I like his style. Ah, I spot hooked myself. There's any meat hooks down here. I don't know how I want to do this. Did you say Aldo? I don't, and another thing is I don't really know all the fighters anymore. I do know Sean O'Malley is just by chance, but I really don't know these characters anymore, and I don't know what their deals are. Yeah, I don't even know that guy. Yeah, I have no clue, bro. But again, I mean, when everybody talks about Dana White, I just think that you got to imagine you're dealing with the boss. Like he makes solid decisions. He has to be able to make decisions for everybody, not just for one person, not just for one viewer. Um, and man, I tell you what, he was good to me. He's real good to me. So I can't really complain. If that guy ever called me and needed something, I'd do it in a second. No, I mean, it doesn't make me mad. I just, honestly, I'm kind of out of touch with it. It's just been so long since I've been involved with them or been to a show or, I never really follow sports. I'm always doing sports. I don't really follow sports. Kind of like fishing. I'm always doing fishing. I'm not really like, I don't really watch other people fish or watch tournaments or things like that. I mean, I do enough to know what to do in a tournament, or if I need to pick up another skill, I'll usually go fish with other guys that have those skills. I don't usually watch other people to pick up skills. Good day, Buffalo. Tying up a few baits, bro. I broke some baits off the other day. Lost a couple jigs, a couple hooks and setups. No, man, I'm free to talk about anything, really. I don't keep. I believe that everybody should be able to talk about whatever they want. I'd never really try to hold people back from talking about it, certain things. Like right now, I think I weave this knot wrong. So I gotta take it down. Some of these knots are so complicated. That's why you tie up before you go fishing. Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes I sit here and I just tie up baits for like an hour and a half so that the next time I go, I really don't have to worry about it unless I break it off while I'm fishing. And then sometimes I do it right there on the water if I have to, if that's the only bite that day. But if I don't have to, I just put that rod down and grab another one. That's what I'm pretty psyched about Mike getting me that extra reel, you know? Like, people don't understand how important it is to have extra rods and reels. What's going on, Peter? Getting all kinds of subs in here today. And rods and reels are expensive, bro. Yeah, talk about my head. How shiny it is. Got balls, shiny head, peanut head, all kinds of stuff. Well, got that out of the way. Egg head, peanut head, big head, all sorts of shit. Well, I got those wrapped up. Oh no, this guy's roasting you, bro. Roasting. Oh man, that's so funny. Oh gosh. Buffalo, we need corporate sponsorship. Like in Fight Club. Yeah, milkman or the milkman, the mailman, going out for a jug of milk and never coming back. I'll tell you one thing I used to miss is like when your parents could write you a note for whatever they wanted at the store, Like if it was like alcohol or cigarettes, they'd like write you a note and then you had to go get it. And then like show the teller your note. I always thought that was funny. He said, I heard about that. Number one rule, nobody talks about Fight Club. Second rule, nobody talks about Fight Club. We could do a weird lineup thing with rods and reels if you guys want to do that. I could start busting out golf clubs that I don't know anything about. I did want to go hit balls today, but it was raining. It was raining pretty good. Yeah, that was always a big thing. When I was a kid, the worst thing my mom used to say to me, like, don't end up on a milk carton. That was the worst thing you could tell a kid. And that would always remind kids to be careful when they went places. So like my mom would say, like, if I was leaving for school, she'd be like, you know, be careful and don't end up on a milk carton. Like that was how her way of telling me, like, don't talk to strangers and don't get kidnapped. And that was pretty much the end of that. He's not being mean. We're just messing around. I don't really have a collection now. All these guys donated to me, but I do have some really good. I left this Nike club, so I traded a guy a set of clubs for a reel and a fishing reel. And in that bag was a really nice Nike driver, but that's in my truck right now. But there's not a whole lot to show, to be honest. It's just most of these are decent clubs. And I think I already showed you any of the other ones. Like I got a nice Titleist driver, couple Pinnacle wedges. This orange bag is like, it's like a whole set, but it's kind of an off brand, but it is a whole set. Then I got some decent like woods, like some 3 woods. I think that's what it is. Oh no, sorry, I'm off on this. This one's a 7.5. But I got some decent little. Got some decent donations there. Yeah, I mean, to me, just there's no real purpose behind shadow boxing. Maybe unless you're working on footwork or something like that. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a fan of it. I didn't take nothing from the course. What are you talking about? Talking trash, bro. You're talking trash. Well, I'm glad I got this baits tied up anyway. What are you talking about, cap? Buffalo's capping on me. That's what's happening. I don't steal. I got to be honest. That's been one difficult thing in my life. Like growing up, I didn't really like have a lot, and so my friends were always doing something shisty, and I just didn't. I just never really got into that. I just couldn't do it. I'd rather work for it. I mean, it'd take me a while to get what I wanted, but it was worth it. Yeah, I do. I know you're just messing around, dude. And honestly, I don't even mind it. Like I'm used to like getting roasted in the locker rooms or something. Like guys just talk like that. I'm just noticing how many more. Like every time I look around, I'm like, I need more rods and reels. And I sold a bunch this winter. I sold a bunch of rods this winter. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just a matter of I don't know. I've never understood the thought process behind people who want something or need something and they feel like they have to break the law to get it. So it's every time like my friends would be like, "Oh man, we got to make some money to do this, this, or this." It would be like, "Well, if we sell this stuff, we can make a bunch of money. If we go steal this stuff, we can make a bunch of money." And it was like, "Why don't you just go work?" Like, I just never understood. I never got it. Fishing from a boat is always better, no matter what. I mean, you're so limited by bank fishing. Oh my gosh, a stretch. But you know what? I'll say this. I've kind of been the same, like even earlier than 16. I would say I was kind of doing my own thing right around between 12 and 14. I mean, I never had any I didn't have a time to go in. I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do, but I did it anyway. Um, yeah, right. Like I'm cracking over here. But when it comes to the handout idea, I look at it more like a hand up. Does that make sense? Like if somebody's willing to help me to achieve my goals, I don't look at that as a handout. I would say a hand up is okay, but a handout isn't. Does that make sense? Yeah, so like even in my life when I was doing very well and done well for myself, I've always helped people and I never considered it a handout, not one time. Anything I ever did for anybody, I never considered it a handout. Um, on the same note, if somebody did something for me, I always tried to do something in return, no matter what it was. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, it's hard to maintain flexibility. Oh, oh. We need corporate sponsorship, guys. That's what we need. Need some more rods and reels. That's what's got to happen. Yeah, who is barbecuing today? Let me stop by. Give me some of them ribs or something. Oh. I'm going to try to move this whole setup. See if I can do it. I like the other day when I was like, I got to go outside to my truck. Mike was like, field trip. I started dying laughing. Mike was like, yes, a field trip. We get to go outside. I started cracking up. Yeah, man. You know, again, like when you talk about like aging and stuff like that, you know, I talk to a lot of people about aging and health and, you know, all these things and these are just things I've learned over time. And by the way, yes, I was involved in mixed martial arts for a very long time, probably 20 years or more, somewhere in there. But, you know, when people talk to me about age and things like that, it's like, I'm 46. And when I look around at other people my age, I'm like, wow, those people look so old. Like, I got a friend, all his hair is all silver and white. I mean, he's like 46, 47 years old, and he's all the way gray. And then there's a lot of other problems with men where they get to be certain ages and certain things stop working, certain things start happening that they don't understand, and I'm still kicking. I feel pretty good. So I just try to help people in those little departments, you know. Yeah, yeah, I've been feeling this matrix thing lately, like we're kind of tied in the matrix. But yeah, getting into mixed martial arts is good. I think it's a great hobby. Um, if you have a chance to fight professionally or do amateur to professional, you have to start amateur to become a professional. But if you have a chance to do it live and do the real thing, I think that's even better. I'd just say make sure you're ready. Make sure you do all the training necessary to be able to protect yourself. Yes, we are blessed every single day. Yeah, I got to be honest with you, bro. I don't know about the Wing Chun stuff, but I'll tell you, Muay Thai is solid. Um, Muay Thai is great. It's a great skill to have. Even if you practice Muay Thai and maybe even a little American kickboxing, it's pretty good. But Muay Thai is good. Dutch is good. Muay Thai and Dutch style are pretty similar. I am right-handed, but when I was fighting, I fight southpaw. I'm what they call a converted southpaw. I'm a converted southpaw. That's what they call it. But I am right-handed, and I don't fight right-handed. Yeah, if you got that, what do they call, 5-finger death punch? I'm not really big on judo or sambo. I know a lot of judo guys. I know a lot of sambo guys. Never bothered me once. I never met a guy that was like overpowered by his judo, or never met a guy I was like, oh my God, your sambo is so great. Like, oh. I have to admit, the things that I learned were probably the best in my opinion. Muay Thai kickboxing, Western style boxing, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling. I don't think I get any better than that. Dutch style kickboxers they're a little different from Muay Thai, but those guys are tough. They're really tough. Yeah, Martin Campman's one of them. I'll tell you what I got to do. I got to start working on my shoulder. Over all the years from throwing elbows, my hand, I don't have any rotation in my shoulder. So I got to start working on that. Sprawls are important, but there is a defensive style of wrestling. It's not just sprawling. Yeah, I do. I like watching technical boxers. You know, I always like Roy Jones Jr., but in the boxing world and boxing professionals hate Roy Jones Jr. Okay, here's a good example. Chuck Liddell, great MMA guy, great boxer. A lot of people don't know that he was an All-American wrestler. Chuck Liddell was a converted wrestler. He converted to boxing. That's why he could stand up and box, because no one could take him down because he was a great wrestler. Chuck Liddell's an absolute madman. Yeah, I don't know that guy. Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. to me is a special kind of boxer, a special kind of athlete. Always liked watching him. Do you guys know who the Prince Nassim Ahmed is? I'm a big fan of him. The Prince Nassim Ahmed. That guy was unbelievable. Little guy, but I really liked him. Yeah, I don't know the dude. I don't pay attention to sports. Yeah, I really enjoyed Prince Nassim Ahmed. He was awesome. Yeah, and he had the best entrances ever. Like, he had people carrying him to the ring, and he would be like dancing all the way to the ring. He had singers and rappers. His entrances were awesome. He would talk so much smack. I mean, he would even like have the people would like interview him, and he like have them all nervous and scared. Like the Prince was hilarious. Oh yeah, really cocky. James Lights Out Tony was great. I really I wonder what happened with him because he gained way too much weight. When he was smaller, he was really good. Um, he was still good at the heavyweight, but not as bad. He wasn't as good as a heavyweight as he was when he was younger and smaller. Prince Nassim Ahmed flew on a carpet. Yeah, I mean, lots of people have thyroid issues. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. UFC's become like WWE, WWF, and that's what I want. I like the organization. I just don't like the characters they're putting in there. The Prince Nassim Ahmed had the best entrances, some of the best. Do you remember the guy? Who was the guy who wore the suit of armor to the ring, and then he said that the armor was so heavy that it made his legs weak or something? Yeah, the real deal Holyfield was great, but yeah, I don't know. Again, like I know the fighters, but like most of them is just like I watch highlights. I don't ever watch like full matches. I don't know who's coming up. I don't follow any sports, things like that. That was a long time ago, dude. That was crazy. And I wonder what drives somebody to do something like that, but yeah, when he drug that giant cross out to the cage, I was like, wow, that's nuts. Chemo. He's an old UFC fighter. Like he fought like some of the maybe like UFC 10 or something. Yep, that's him. I mean, honestly, I think he was a naturally kind of gifted guy, but I don't think he knew a whole lot, but he could definitely fight. Those early days guys, I mean, they were just tough dudes. They didn't really like, a lot of them didn't know anything. They were just tough guys. I do remember that. Yeah, Gary put that guy in the crucifix and just elbowed him to death. It's kind of scary. I think he hit him like 10 extra times or something until they stopped it. Yeah. Chemo and Ken Shamrock were like the same era. Royce Gracie, Tank Abbott. I think that people underestimate Frank Shamrock. Ken Shamrock was pretty good. I think Frank Shamrock was better than Ken Shamrock. I have to admit, I'm not like, unless I see it, I'm not convinced that Michael J. White is anything. He's an actor. Like, so what? We've never seen him fight anybody. I've never seen him do anything. So, I mean, I think Tom Cruise is just as badass as Michael J. White. I could say that. I think Don Fry was a tough dude, and I met Don Fry. He's just a tough guy. He doesn't give a shit about anything. Not skilled though. Not a skilled fighter. Five-finger death punch. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes here. I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been about an hour. You know, I gotta say this about Joe Rogan. I don't dislike Joe Rogan, but I'm not really a fan of him. So I'm just kind of neutral on him. But everybody talks about, oh, Joe Rogan, he could be this tough fighter, and he even has played into it by saying like he studied Taekwondo and he used to teach it and all this stuff. That's like me saying I played football in high school and I could definitely play for the Detroit Lions. No problem. Like there's no comparison. It's not the same. So when Joe Rogan's like, oh yeah, I know this about this guy and I know this about this guy, that's commentating. You're not a fighter, bro. And if you competed in a couple of Taekwondo matches in 9th grade, that doesn't make you an MMA fighter. It just doesn't. That's exactly the same thing as me saying I played high school football and I think I can play with the Bears. I can play for the Chicago Bears because I played in high school. It's just not the same. That Scientology stuff is wild. All the time. I met people all the time. The best stories I ever heard, and you got to understand in the Midwest, the Bears are great. In the Midwest, the Militich camp was like really popular. So when you would go travel places, you go to Chicago, or you go the other way, you go like Council Bluffs is Nebraska. You could go to Minneapolis and Minnesota. You could go down to Missouri. But anywhere in the Midwest that was kind of satellite to us, you go to a bar, you go to some gathering, something, and people would start talking like, yeah, man, I used to train at Pat Militich's and I'm one of their original fighters. And they would start talking all this stuff, and wearing their tap out t-shirts and stuff. And they would start talking all this stuff, and I'd be like, that's interesting. I'm like, so tell me, how long were you there? And they'd be like, oh, I trained there for 8 years, and I had 30 fights, and I made all this money, and I was one of Pat's best fighters. And like, what's so funny is they'd be talking to me, not knowing that I have been there for 15 years. You know, like I would have definitely known who this person is, and they're lying. They're lying. But I met people who lied about their background all the time. Yeah, the Joe Rogan thing is really interesting now. I think that his podcast has been going for a very long time. I think the best thing he does is he brings on professionals in their fields. That's what I like about his show. He brings other people on his show that are professionals in their fields, and I think they have great conversations. But he is very he contradicts himself a lot. He talks a lot of trash about people, and then he has the person on the show, and then he is pretty much all like sucking up to him. It's very contradictive. He says some things that are very contradictive. Or he'll have a guest on, they'll be, especially if those people have a lot of money, he's all over them. He will hype those people who have a lot of money. He will talk about them like they're God. Like he loves them. Marcus, what's up? Oh, I'd have people challenge me all the time. All the time. And I think the worst ever were like, you know, I'd go out somewhere, and usually we would go in groups, and somebody would try to call me out, and I was completely fine with it. I was just like, just come to the gym. That's all you gotta do is come to the gym. And they never would. Most of the time, they never would. Yeah, so I don't see Joe Rogan being consistent with a lot of the things he says. I think that some of the directions that his podcasts and his conversations go, I think they're really good. I think it's good overall conversation. The thing I don't like about it is he will kind of like talk trash about somebody, and then when he has them on the show, he's just like, "Oh, they're Mr. Perfect and they know everything and blah 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 blah," and then they leave, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy, he's garbage and he lies about everything." It's like you can't do that, man. Like especially in a recorded podcast. I mean, even me, like I admit, I don't think I'm a really smart person. I do like having interesting conversations, but I definitely try not to contradict myself. And if I ever do, I try to correct myself, and I always try to stay consistent with a lot of the things I say and a lot of things I believe in. Another thing is you got to understand that those guys, like Joe Rogan, was an actor. And I mean, he's a failed actor in a way, but he was an actor and he was a comedian. So, I mean, what more would you expect from him? Like you you're dealing with somebody who's an actor. They're actors. No, we're just talking about like people in the public eye or in the MMA field that maybe embellish stories a bit or are contradictive. But definitely, I ran into a lot of people, especially in the early days, that always lied about how good they were, how great they were. Everybody was a black belt. When I got into MMA, I didn't have any karate background and no boxing background, nothing. And people would ask me what I was, and I was like, I don't know, I just trained at this gym. And they were like, well, I got a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm a world champion boxer, and blah blah blah. And then after like an hour like of training with them, they would like leave, and I'd never see them again. Yeah, I don't see. This is what I mean about like the trash talking stuff. Some of these guys, they'll just say anything to get a buzz. Just they'll say anything to get people talking about them and what they said, and you just don't. Who cares, man? I think one of the most interesting thing was I met Ronda Rousey years ago, like kind of right before she kind of got big, and then right around that same time, I met Holly Holm. I went to Jackson's and I trained with John Jones, and I met Holly Holm there, and she was the nicest girl. Holly Holm was so nice, and Ronda Ronda Rousey kind of blew up. So Ronda Rousey blew up, and Holly Holm was still in the background, but when they were before they were gonna fight, like Ronda Rousey just dogged Holly Holm so bad, and then I was just like, I couldn't believe the way that Holm finished her. Like I was just like, holy cow! After all that smack talking, that's one hell of a finish. It's all good, bro. I gotta close this up anyway. I told these guys I was closing up. I would massage her biceps. Yeah, I mean, she's a sweet, sweet girl. She's really nice, actually. I met her. She's a really nice person. What I was getting at was just, I think that some of these characters and these people, they get on the mic and they'll say anything to get a buzz. They'll say anything to make $10 more, and it can come back and bite you. It can really come back and bite you. So I don't know. That's up to them, I guess. It's not my style, that's for sure. So all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I said 2 minutes. It's been like 10 minutes. We gotta go. You guys good? Yeah, maybe I'll be on later. I don't know. See how I feel. It's Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what I'll be doing. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.